So we have the Harry and Meghan rebrand. It's fascinating in terms of the body language, though, because if this is a rebrand, it's actually a kind of full circle thing as far as Harry's concerned. Because what we've got is Harry now out being playful on the ski slopes. And that body language is so reminiscent and so poignantly reminiscent about how we always saw Harry when he was growing up in the royal family, because they would do a photo call every year and it would be on the ski slopes. And that's where we would see Harry and his dad, Harry and William, Harry and Diana. And it was probably the only glimpse that we used to get of them having fun as a family. So, given Charles's health at the moment, it is deeply poignant that Harry's back out there on the slopes again. It's almost as though he's creating an era of continuity in terms of, the show's back on the road again. Although obviously this was something that he was going to do for the Invictus Games. I wonder whether that does perhaps ring a poignant note with Harry, though, because he has visited his father recently. He might suddenly think it reminds him of happier family times as well. And that might be the reason why what we're seeing with Meghan and Harry now is a kind of a change in the dynamic of them as a power couple. That might be because maybe Meghan is holding the fort a little bit, maybe understanding how her husband's feeling, or it might be that she's naturally confident anyway. It's very much her type of thing. But even in this arrival, it was so easy to see that Meghan is no longer Harry's plus one at Invictus. She used to be the plus one. It was like, these are Harry's games, and Meghan was there being very charming, but not taking the lead. Here, though, we're seeing a different version of their power dynamic. So Meghan arrived in this beautiful white outfit, creating what's called a Duchess smile for the cameras, a perfect smile, wide, raised cheeks, slight crinkling of the eyes, and she literally aimed that down the barrel of the cameras as well. There was no messing about. That was her portraying this as being a very upbeat, fun outing, and joyous as well. She had a very excited eye expression. She even came out holding one arm out and touching a cameraman on the arm. Now, in a way, that could have been an endorsement for the camera crew. She maybe knows them from the past, but it did look like, I'm here, the show, it's the Meghan show, the Meghan show's on the road, because Harry was following behind her. And again, that would be a complete turnaround in royal terms. And it actually a complete turnaround in Invictus terms. So it was like, no, Meghan first out, striding out with her husband, walking slightly ahead. And there was some very interesting body language. We've still got the kind of very tactile behaviour. But the fun poses and the body language, I think, threw up about 3 or 4 important points. Firstly, this dominance, the walking in front, the smile, etc., and being maybe less of a power couple. This is more like the power is with Meghan. Harry also looked very casual. She was beautifully turned out. He was turned out in a pair of old jeans, a jacket that looked a bit crumpled. And he was walking along with one hand shoved in his pocket, which it's a kind of desire to hide. His head was down a little bit, shoulders were slightly hunched. And Meghan, on the other hand, completely in contrast. She seemed to find the sweet spot of the cameras every time. So, she's smiling into the cameras, she's posing for the cameras, she's squatting, even using a camera herself to take a photograph of somebody. And then there was her tactile bonding displays that were very much evident just now. So we've got that hand on Harry's back. When Harry did take the lead a little bit and he was squatting down talking to some of the contestants. She's sitting behind him, but we get that very familiar hand on the back. That's a kind of, don't forget I'm here, you're doing really well. It's kind of high status, but quite loving, a sort of loving authority. And sometimes Meghan can use it a little bit to kind of say, oh, don't forget it's my turn in a minute as well. There was a very odd hug as well that showed us some very strange things about their status balance. Meghan walked over to, I don't know if it was one of the hosts or whoever, it was a guy that was there. And we get this very odd shot. Harry seems to be shaking the man's hand, but Meghan's moved in for the hug. So we get, I've never seen it all my years of body language where a couple do a kind of two for the price of one hybrid hug and handshake thing going on, but that's what we got here. Meghan has dominated the greeting ritual. She's using eye contact. She's speaking directly to the man. She's got him around the ribs in a warm hug. She looks incredibly warm. And Harry's standing back a little bit, but he's holding the guy by the hand. He looks quite forlorn in this pose as well. So it's very strange. You would actually expect Harry to be the one out there doing the main greeting ritual, but he just seems to be hanging on to the guy's hand, which a gesture I've never seen before. It's very much that we might be seeing the fact that Meghan has never really, she's always cut through royal protocol, even when she was in the UK. And I think now she feels completely unshackled by it. I think she feels that if she's greeting a group of people, she's probably the one that finds it easier. She's more tactile, she's more confident, so she will go for it. I wonder how that affects Harry though, because Harry, however much he likes to be this now cool, casual guy from America, all of the royal protocol will be ingrained in his body language in terms of muscle memory. He will expect to be the one walking first. He will expect to be the one that maybe, as we saw recently, gets the good seats in the theatre. You know, you could see the shock on his face when he was in the stalls. It's like, this doesn't normally happen. So for him, it's a whole new world of experience. And he always was the more casual royal, but that still doesn't make up for the fact that that will be his expectation of how the world treats him and how he behaves in the world. So yeah, Meghan seems to cut through that a little bit more. And I think it's quite sweet to see it happen, but I think Harry might need a while still to play catch up with that one. There's always a gap between the levels of confidence in Meghan's body language. She always looks supremely confident, and it's not just the actress. She always knows what she's talking about. She's very sociable. She knows how to make an entrance. Harry loves the spotlight, and I think he, like his father, he's probably a little bit more comfortable when it's just on him and he's doing his own thing. I think as a double act, he doesn't quite get it yet. But his level of confidence is a lot lower. We get more cues that might suggest a little bit of anxiety. He will glance up and glance down again. He's not naturally somebody who feels happy greeting the press with his sunny smiles and things like that. So we do still tend to get gestures from him, like the hand in the pocket here, that suggests although he's enjoying being there, his natural response is to hide a bit from the cameras and all of the scrutiny that's going on. I think Harry a little bit would rather be out there greeting those people by himself, joking around, laughing around, and without too many cameras around. But he's got to take care of business, and so he will always be surrounded by those cameras. Harry doesn't really show obvious signs that he doesn't enjoy being led. I think Meghan, over the years that they've been together, has used a lot of body language rituals, tactile ritual, touch rituals, let me go first signals. They're called tie signs that couples use. Now, when a couple have been together for a long time, those tie signs of I'm the one that's going to lead, it tends to become a more natural thing. and also subtle. Theirs have never really got subtle though. You know, Meghan's arm out, Meghan's touch on his back. They're not subtle tie signs. And I suppose for me, that would maybe imply that she's still establishing herself a little bit in that role that actually comes naturally to her. It works for both of them because he's still got this little bit of shyness that all the Windsor men have. He's not as adept when it comes to making speeches on stage. He still finds that a real problem in terms of his confidence levels. And I think socially he's not as confident as she is, but she's still having to assert herself quite a lot with her body language to get out there in front. But as we can all see, Meghan is the star of the show. She just takes to it like a duck to water.